It has been a minute. I haven't made a video since Eleanor Oliphant, and I think that was in November. I've just been so busy because I have 2 jobs, and then I am a full-time student, and then I also donate at BioLife, and then I also observe for being a teacher. So I'm basically like practicing being a student teacher for next semester. Here we go. So I never did a video about what I read in December. So I read 4 more books after Eleanor Oliphant, and the first one I read in December was a book called The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I hated this book so much. Basically what it was about is this single girl and this single guy, and it just goes back and forth between, we can't be together, but I want you so much, but we can't be together, but I want you so much, but we can't be together. And it's on and on and on and on and on. And the main character, the girl, I hate her so much. I forgot her name already. I don't know. I read this a long time ago. Kristen is her name. The worst main character in a romance novel I've ever come across. She's so annoying. I don't get what the guy sees in her. And then the ending, the ending is so disappointing and so stupid. And I've read so many other reviews of people saying they hated the ending as well. Friend Zone, bad. Don't read it. I hated it. The next I read Winter Street by Ellen Hildebrand. I wanted to read something Christmassy. This one was super short, and it was fine. It was cute, short Christmas read. It wasn't anything like super amazing, but you know, I like Ellen Hildebrand a lot. And I read All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This is a young adult novel, and I haven't read one of those in a very long time. And this I haven't had a young adult novel impact me so much probably since I read Looking for Alaska, and that was like 5 years ago. Yeah, this book was dark. I don't know how I feel about the ending, but it was definitely, it made me think, that's for sure. And then the last book I read in December was called In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. And this was my December pick for book of the month. And this book was like, it was fine. I gave it 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It's like Groundhog's Day, where this girl keeps waking up on the, like, not waking up, but keeps experiencing the same day over and over and over again on a family vacation. And so that was kind of funny, but yeah, it was fine. Now we're on to 2021. So these are all the books I've read in 2021 so far. I read The Girl in the Mirror by Rose Carlyle. Spooky mystery about twins, and one of the twins dies and the other one decides to take her place. It was very good. I liked it a lot. The ending blew my mind, and that's hard to do because I've read so many mysteries that for a mystery ending to blow my mind is doesn't happen that often. So this was good. After that, I listened to the audiobook White Fragility: Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism by Robin DiAngelo. 5 out of 5 stars. Literally everyone needs to read this book. Like, especially if you don't think you're racist, and I'm in that boat. I'm like, I'm not racist. And then I read this book and I realized, like, yeah, I am. Just acknowledging it and realizing that everyone has racism within them, and it's something that we can't even control because it's how we are raised in this society. It was a really, really good book. The one issue I had was the audiobook narrator was so boring. She had this like very robotic voice, and it made it super hard to listen to at times. Like, I almost couldn't get through it because it was I hated the narrator. Oh, I don't know who it was. Ma'am, I'm really sorry, but if you're gonna read this book, don't listen to it. Read the paper version because the audiobook was just, ugh. After that, I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I gave this 4 out of 5. Because I had 2 major complaints. The first one, well, first of all, this book is really good. It's about a haunted house. Well, basically this family lives in a haunted house, and it's so haunted that they end up leaving. Kind of like Haunting of Hill House, I guess. Like the show, not the book. A mom, a dad, and their daughter, and the house is so haunted that they ended up leaving, and the dad ends up writing a best-selling novel about their experience at this haunted house, and now the daughter is all grown up and she decides to investigate what really happened at this house that was so bad that made them leave. And oh my gosh, it was so good, except the writing style was very choppy. Like, I can see that the author was trying to be dramatic, but it's like everything was like, and then she opened the door, new line, and it was dark, new line. It's just like choppy. And that got old when like every couple pages is like that. And then also, I don't want to ruin the ending, so I'm not going to say exactly what happens, but there are two twists, and I hate when this happens. I'm like they give you a twist and you think it's over, and then there's another twist. And I hate that. Like, I don't know why that bothers me so much. I'm like, I'd rather have one really good one than two kind of like ones, you know? It was too much. After that, I read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Not sure how I feel about this book entirely. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. This is another young adult novel that really hit me in the feels. It's about this group of friends / cousins, they're actually family members, and they're rich, and they like have vacation on this private island every summer, and there's an accident, and one of them is severely injured and like doesn't remember stuff, and kind of a twist in this one too. I wasn't sure how to feel about it. The writing style at times was confusing, like I wasn't sure who was narrating at times, but other than that, it was really good, I guess. I mean, I liked it, kind of. After that, I listened to the audiobook of The Couple Next Door by Shari LaPena. I have read Someone We Know by her, and I loved that book. The Couple Next Door was just, the whole book is people getting interviewed by the police, and they're lying, and it's just people lying. And then we find out later that they're lying, and it's just lies after lies, and it's like, that's kind of what this book is about. Basically, this couple is having dinner next door, and their baby gets kidnapped. They leave the baby at home alone, and it gets kidnapped, and it's this whole thing, and it's just like, my review, all I wrote was, I am dizzy. It was a lot. And the ending was stupid. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Then I read Dark Places by Gillian, I think it's pronounced Gillian Flynn. I loved Sharp Objects, and I love Gone Girl. Dark Places, I only gave a 3 out of 5. It just didn't have the same amount of like oomph as the other 2 books I've read by her have had. I would still recommend reading it. I didn't love it. I loved Sharp Objects, and Gone Girl is like one of my favorite books of all time. This one was just kind of a letdown. Obviously, Gillian Flynn is like an incredible writer. It's fun to read, but I didn't love the plot of it, and the ending was weird. Okay, then I listened to the audiobook of Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam. This book had so much potential. It could have been so good. And okay, it was really good. I have issues with the ending, which is kind of becoming a theme in this video, is that the book is great, I'll love it, I love it, I love it, and then we get to the ending and I'm like, what the fuck? It was really good. Leave the World Behind, please read it. It's about a couple basically vacationing in an Airbnb, and they're from New York City, and they're vacationing in like the country. And the owners of the Airbnb show up one night, and they're like, can we stay here? There's been a blackout in the city. And the couple is an older black couple, and the family staying there is a white family. And so there's like racial kind of themes that are touched on in this. And at the same time, there's like an apocalypse going on, but no one really knows what. Maybe I should do a full review on this book, because I really want to talk about the ending, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam, I think that's how you say it. So good. Until the end. And then I read for the third time, I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. 5 out of 5 stars every time. Scares the shit out of me every time I read it. And it breaks my heart that she tragically passed away before she was able to see this man get caught. Such a good book. I recommend it to everyone. I have the hardcover. I bought it like the day it came out. I was so excited to read it. One of the best books I've ever read. Love it. And then I read Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I have never read a book by him that I didn't absolutely love, and this one was so good. Just another, he's so funny. Like, you have to read all of his books. They are so funny and well written, but like charming, but they also are kind of sad. And like this one was basically about a bank robbery gone wrong that accidentally turns into a hostage situation. And the bank robber / hostage taker just sucks at being a bank robber / hostage taker. And the characters that he is holding hostage are just like, oh God, it's so funny. But also like the ending is like, so good. Oh, you have everything by Fredrik Backman that I've ever read has been amazing. And God, I love him. And then this next one my mom recommended to me. It's called Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet by Jamie Ford. This I think is really important, especially now in the culture of we are seeing an uptick, or maybe not even an uptick, but we are seeing Asian racism kind of making a comeback. And This book is about 1940s Seattle when World War II was going on, and basically America rounded up all legal Japanese immigrants and put them in camps. And this book is about that, and it was really touching. I really liked it. I gave this one a 5 out of 5. Like, I don't find books like this that I love this much that often. Hotel in the Corner, bittersweet, especially in today's world, I think is a super important thing to read. And it was really good. I loved it. 2 left. There's 2 left. My March book of the month was called The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Another book that I feel like had so much potential, and just, it really, really had the potential to wow me, and it just didn't. It fell flat, and I'm not sure why, because the plot is really smart and I love it. It's about this woman in 1700s London who owns an apothecary, a secret apothecary, and women in need come to her for poison so that they can kill a man who has somehow wronged them. And this woman, her name is Nella, she refuses to ever kill a woman. Her undoing is that someone comes to her and says, I need poison, my husband is having an affair. And that's like what she does. She dispenses poison, the women kill their husband, and it's like Nella has this whole, revenge thing that they get into later. A woman comes and says, no, I don't want to kill my husband, I want to kill his mistress. And Nella says, no, I don't do that, I don't kill women. And she says, if you don't give me the poison, I will out you. So it's I don't know, like, it could have been so good and I just didn't love it like I was hoping I would. I don't know. And then finally, I just finished this book 2 nights ago, The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I listened to the audiobook, and I feel like the narrator in audiobooks can like make or break if I love it or not. This book was good. I think the narrator may have ruined it a tiny bit, and I hate saying that. This book is about a woman who is a podcaster, and she's covering a rape trial in this one small town. And someone is kind of like, not blackmailing her, but someone is trying to get her to investigate this other thing at the same time. And it turns out in the end they're kind of connected. Great book. I gave it 3 out of 5 on Goodreads because I feel like at the end, it's a twist that you're like, that's so disappointing. You know what I mean? That's everything I've read so far in 2021. What I'm currently reading, Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I read The Breakdown by her either last year or 2 years ago, and I really liked it. This is apparently the first book she ever wrote, and so far I'm liking it. I'm only 38 pages in, so not far at all. Even though I don't have time to do much of anything, I'm still reading. I'm listening to a lot more audiobooks these days because that's all I have time for. But cheers. Oh my god, this is going to take me forever to edit.